necessary for us to be the ones to, for us to have a robust, productive, effective communication relationship with our children. The issue we are discussing today is one of the most important reasons. As a matter of fact, like I said in the book itself, the T.A.L.K Therapy, Key to Effective Parent-Child Communication on Sexual and Reproductive Health Issues. Our discussion for today is the main reason. I don't say was, I said is the main reason, that I have written this book. And we've been talking book. You were like, why, which book? Why is it? Well, we want to get done with the season, with the series, so that some people don't get the idea that, oh, we are doing all of this so that you could buy my book. Yes, buying the book works two ways. You buy the book, we put the money back in the project to do some other things, and then you get benefits of the issues raised in the book. But we have already given you the entire book, but there are people who will still want, so we didn't want to put the book first. Okay, so like we said at the top of the season, the book have been reviewed. Those are books I wrote about over 20 years ago, really, all of them. And of course, the main issues raised are the same. Parenting is the same everywhere. It's universal, it's timeless, it's urgent. So all of those issues are accommodated in those books. But we have to, give the books a modern, breadth, as it were, before you have them again. So you're going to get the book, sooner than later, but we didn't want to make them the main issues, okay, we are on this stream, okay, this is this book so that you can buy it. No, I didn't want that. I didn't want that kind of distraction. I wanted us to talk about what we need to talk about. I'm passionate about, parenting, passionate about development issues. Parenting is a major development issue. So let's talk about relating with ourselves, engaging with ourselves. Then you could ask for the book, you could get the book later. Actually, when those books were first released, I used to give them away at seminars and workshops because I'm so passionate about the fact that parents need to be the ones to educate their children on sexual and reproductive health issues, relationship issues. You need to be the ones in the front line of educating your children around those issue areas, because you know your culture, you know your tradition, you know your family values, you know your ethical values, you understand, even if you're not wholly, you have an idea of legal codes that operate where you live and reside. So you are the one that need to take your children through things that you can avoid, you can't dodge them. You can't wish them away. It's not possible. People will grow. They will see development around them. They will see development in themselves. They will see development in their friends. They'll ask questions. You should be the person that they come to ask those questions first, especially today. When I wrote those books, we didn't have social media. Well, maybe Facebook. There was no Facebook when I wrote the book. The book was 1998, 1999. When did you have Facebook, as it were? Okay, so social media then, it was whatever that was available on TV. Parents could control relatively so well that time. All you need is to go and sleep or change that channel or put it off or whatever. That's not so today. They have this. They have this. You even bought it for them with your money. So with this, they can get any information on anything from anywhere at any time. So with this, they're on the internet. Of course, there are applications you can use to monitor, to block, well, those are reactive. They are not preemptive actions. They are reactive actions. That, yes, somebody can say to me, oh, blocking or you know, installing applications that monitor is preemptive, still reactive. And it doesn't really build trust. The things you have to be around for your children to do, if you have to take your present for your children to do specific things, then you've built nothing, because they're not going to be around you for the rest of your life. You are not going to be around them for the rest of your life. Some parents do still want to play those roles even when their children have become adults and have their own families. We have an idea of some of the problems and challenges that go with those. So we don't. You should prepare your children. You should get them, information, education, and communication tools and materials and resources with which they make informed decisions on their own. That's what this is all about. And that's when you say your job is done. That you can say, no, my child cannot do that. It's not possible, even when you are not there. That's when your job is done. Because you are not going to be there forever. Okay? You are not going to be there. If you are planning to have your children under your wings for the rest of their life, your parenting job, you feel the need to start with. You should prepare your children to be themselves, the best versions of themselves, who stand, face their own pressures, manage their own pressures, respond to their own pressures, and come out that person who say, yes, that's my son. Yes, that's my daughter. So this episode today, we are looking at the big issue. And that big issue is sexual and reproductive health issues, information around sexual and reproductive health. In most cultures, it's a taboo it's taboo rather to discuss sexuality issue, because when people hear sexuality, the first thing that jumps into their mind is sex, intercourse, and all. No, sexuality is bigger than sexuality is all of you as a human being. Your thinking, what motivates you, what you like, what you don't like, what you do, what you don't do, where you go, where you don't go. Okay, your fashion, your choice of friends, your preferences. Okay, generally, all that's what your makeup as a human being. It's your sexuality. It's not intercourse. Intercourse is just a portion of what sexuality is all about. So when we get parents to have these understandings, their approaches most times change even till now, even in counseling. Is be open. It's about you are growing. Yeah, that's part of it. Okay, this part of you now, mom, what's happening? I noticed that. What did you notice? The child describes it. So, oh wow, okay, that says you're becoming a man. Oh, really? What does the conversations, go? Um, Now, because again, whether we like it or not, as parents, our children, just like ourselves, will get into relationship with other people who are brought up by other sets of people, parents too. The person your daughter, your son is going to meet, you know, uh, boyfriend, girlfriend, will not be, you know, might not have, might not necessarily, even if you are this from the same race, tribe, culture, tradition, there's that little matter of the family values. Your family values do not correlate with your traditional, 100% with your traditional cultural values. There are still certain things that are, unique to you as a family. And you're saying to your child, this is not me, this is not who we are. Okay? All right. This is not me. This is not who we are. And this is not, should not be you. It's not when there's trouble or there are challenges or there's tension that you begin to say those. You begin to say those early. That's what we say, start early. Okay? Old enough to ask a question, any question by any child is old enough to give age appropriate response, especially around sexual and reproductive health issues. There have no need to use pseudonyms or uh, fancy names. You're talking with your children about their body. It's their body. That's the first thing. That's even the first. You are the first person that would make them be confident, not be ashamed with any part of their body, with any part of the processes their body needs to grow through any phase in life. It's you. Okay? When you begin to use fancy names, coded names for body parts, the children, when some other children are out there, nobody is using any fancy name and they wonder what's going on. What was my mom or dad hiding from me? What, you know? So basically, be open, be sincere with telling your children the truth, no cover-ups about the human system, depending on break things down to their age. Make the information you're given to be age appropriate. Start the conversation at specific times when you observe certain changes, but then do not postpone when they are the ones now who come say, Mom, I don't understand what was happening to me. Okay, calm down, calm down, calm down. What happened? All right, you hear the story. Come on, take it easy. All right, you go in, depending on whatever growth area, uh, whatever issue that is around their physiological growth, you communicate with them. You can't be an expert in everything. You might not know everything. Don't claim to know everything. Don't say things you are not sure of. The ones you don't have the answers to, let the child know that, okay, don't worry. I'll find this out and we'll have this conversation. Keep that promise. Okay? Keep that promise. Find out. Have that conversation. All right? So it's not communication is what it is. It's talking. Okay? It's gesticulating. Okay? It's motioning. It's directing, even when you're not speaking. So we talk about those verbal and non-verbal cues that we use to pass information, even around issues of sexual and reproductive health, uh, challenges or issues generally. Okay. There might not be, you might not feel comfortable about having certain discussion, especially around sexual and reproductive health. Like I said, most cultures is behind closed doors, no lights. No, you can't talk about this now. When? Or you don't know, no, you're too young for that when you grow up. When? So who's going to tell the child? What? The one area that well, two areas really, because I'm going to talk briefly about uh, the girl child, boy child, in the issue areas of maturity of reproductive health, and then, but the girls come off worse, and it's around the issues of menstruation, for instance. It's a natural occurrence. It will happen. So there's no need to shy away from it. There's no need to codify what you know as a mother, as a father. So I am a man, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm a man. Will remain a man. Okay. Yeah, sure. So as a human being, you know, and as an adult, as a parent, you know that this is a natural occurrence that would happen, will start at a particular age. So you have a responsibility to prepare the mind of your girl child, especially when these days young girls begin to menstruate as some as early as 10. I've heard of 9. Yeah. Okay. You know the development, you see the growth of your child, you see the development, you are close enough. If you have that, if you have initiated that communication relationship early, your child would be on you, be all over you to tell you how she's feeling, what is happening. And then you, as a mother, most likely will come to you. It might not be to the father that you go to. It might also go to the father because he's innocent, doesn't know what's happening. It's not innocent, it's ignorant. He doesn't know, it's not sure, he doesn't know, he's confused, he's curious, he wants to find out. And then you say, oh, okay, now if as the father you don't feel comfortable, you talk with your partner, your wife, and people, your daughter. I think you need to discuss something with your daughter. I think she said certain things to me, but I just said, okay, don't worry. Uh, you know, then you will now. That's why we say that it's always better a team. Okay, parenting is better done in teams. The people, the children, partners. Okay, it's teamwork. Okay, it's not a 100-meter, individual race. No, it's a team event. Well, if it's even if it's a 100-meter race, it has to be really 100 meters. In that case, it will be 4 people. But this one, no, no 4. Those other 4 people are not there. It's you, two-man relay team. Relay team. Okay, and over the years, we had cases. I've written several materials, books actually. Young girls who did not know what was happening, they're in the playground in the school playing with their friends, and their menstruation started. They didn't know, nobody prepared them. The first thing is that they probably feel they would have hurt themselves. They couldn't, they check, where is this coming from? And then maybe if there are those among their friends who are more experienced, who know what's going on, they will start laughing at them. The embarrassment is out of this world. Oh, you don't know. The embarrassment some young girls, some young women don't recover from it. They get to it. I have counseled, I have talked with scores of young people. My mom, she did that to me. She can't be my friend. So sometimes you wonder why do your children react so. It could be things like that. They might not tell you. When they eventually, their friends will help them. They'll clean up, manage their condition, and all of that. You might see her come back home, moody, withdrawn, and you too, don't worry. Okay, what's wrong with you? You're not, I'm okay. Not okay. But it's that anger. Why you didn't tell me? Why didn't you? Some girls, some children would confront their mothers and they could settle it. But we are not all the same. Their friends would have helped them in school, crash program in human biology, and then the reproductive cycle and all of that crashed. The child might have actually been sitting in a class, but school text is school text. Lecture is lecture. It's not the same thing as when it's practical. So you need to prepare. That's for the girl child. For the boy child, there's something that's called wet stream. And they wake up, they don't know what has happened. The whole sleeping platform, wherever it is the child has slept, wouldn't know. And again, I've had to counsel parents who were like, he's the stupid movie he's watching, we've said the cartoons, it means that he just spent his time looking at things. No. biological, it's hormonal. It's time that shows that that child, what is most important to you as a parent, if you hadn't prepared your child, it's not all unlike girls who all girls 99% would menstruate. We've had there have been reports, there have been in articles, there have been materials detailing women who never experienced menstruation happens. It's a physiological condition, but this is not a lab class here. Yeah, we're talking parenting here. Now, here's the thing. Whereas girls would most likely experience menstruation, it's not all boys that would experience, the percentage of boys that will experience wet dreams is far, far lower than the experience that the percentage of girls that will not experience menstruation. Okay, so is that. Now, that's your child, isn't no, and some parents actually descend on such boys. Is this what you should be doing? What did I do? The child is thrown into more confusion. Okay, wet dreams is not caused by your child watching pornographic materials or engaging in some uh, talks around pornography or no. It's natural. So it's best for you to prepare, even if you're not even going to experience it. It's okay. You're growing up. This is happening. Is even babies uh, experience erection. Yes, but that's different. But as your children are getting in their preteens, getting into their teenage years, boys, you let them know that you might likely experience something like that. Of course, it's not just you just jump out, that you would have been having, discussion, having communication relationship with the child. So you have been talking on variety of issues. And when it gets to that point, there's nothing to shy away from. You don't wait till the child experiences it. So you don't wait for the smoke to see, oh, there must be fire. No. You might experience this, something like this might happen. Don't worry, it's normal. So when it happens, okay, Dad, I want to say something. That thing you told me the other day, it's like it happened. What? On my bed. Oh, okay, Dad. All right, you go and check. I told you. It doesn't mean now the heavy talk around that then happens. It now becomes another opportunity for another teachable moment or point. Now, what that means is you are maturing reproductively. So if you get into any sexual relationship with any female, you might impregnate. Pregnancy might occur. There's nothing to hide about these stories because these are human things. They will happen. So it's best you equip your children with information with which they could make informed decision. Oh, that no, no, that calm down. Yeah, I'm just letting you know that that is a possibility. Should you get into relationship with your female friends, if you have, and then there's you can impregnate. That means no school for her. No school. Well, school for you have issues. The same thing with the girl child. This means that if yes, you are getting ready to become a mother, but then this is not, that means you can be a mother. Mom, what do you mean be a mother? You go into the discussion. Yes, you go into the gist. Then you go the whole 9 miles, 9 yards, 9 miles. Discuss, provide information, ask question. Oh, really? Okay. Nothing hidden. Okay. So we're going to take a break now and play you the video for this episode for big issue. We say if you delay the slide, if you hold back information that they need to, make informed decisions around their sexuality, the slide, you leave gaps, confusion setting, third parties setting, and that will be a problem. And that's what we've prepared in that video for you. Enjoy watching it. We'll be back.
Parents, pause and reflect, because if you do not talk with your children about sexuality issues, someone else would. In today's world, silence about issues of sexuality is not a helpful option. Inasmuch as the growth of your children are concerned, should never be left to third parties, whether they're peers, social media, religious leaders, non-professional counselors, or strangers. You as parents are the best and most trusted sources for these conversations because you know and understand your family's cultural, traditional, and ethical values, as well as the legal codes that applies to your place's residents. No one else is in a better position to guide your children through these important issues that would ultimately impact their lives with clarity. Silence is not protection. In fact, silence is an invitation for confusion, misinformation, and potential harm. When you avoid or delay conversations about sexuality issues, you leave your children vulnerable to ideas that may conflict with your values and beliefs. The world is already speaking loudly. The question is, will your voice be the first one your children would trust? It needs to be, it must be. Here is how to lead the conversation with clarity, truth, and love about sexual and reproductive health issues. 1. Start early, before someone else does. Do not wait for a crisis or for difficult questions to arise. By initiating the conversation early, you set the stage for healthy understanding and strong foundations. Questions should lead to clarity, not curiosity. Old enough to ask any questions is old enough to get an age-appropriate answer. Start the conversations in ways that answer questions before they turn into doubts or misconceptions. This proactive approach provides your children with the understanding they need rather than letting confusion fill the gap. 2. Speak plainly, not fearfully or figuratively. There is no need to speak in riddles, awkwardly or evasively. Truth, when shared plainly, removes the shame and confusion that often surrounds discussions about sexual and reproductive health issues. Truth does not need to be awkward. A clear and honest conversation helps reduce feelings of shame or embarrassment and would foster trust. Speak from a place of confidence, grounded in love and truth. Respond to what you know, find answers to what you are not sure of, and share as you find out. 3. Use language they understand. Dr. Richie Adewusi emphasizes this in T.A.L.K Therapy. Having discussions about sexuality with your children is important for many reasons. As a matter of fact, it is one of the reasons I have written this book. Your children would be confronted with physical, emotional, and relationship changes and challenges they would need answers for. Making the conversation relatable and age-appropriate helps to build trust. When you use language that resonates with them, it opens the door for real engagement and understanding. 4. Keep the doors open after the talks. One conversation is not enough. Sexuality and identity are ongoing processes, and your children will continue to have questions as they grow and experience new changes and developments in their bodies, as well as around them. By keeping the conversation ongoing, you send the message that they can always come to you for answers. This builds long-term trust and keeps the lines of communication open. 5. Equip, do not scare. While it is crucial to discuss the consequences of poor decisions, it is equally important to teach boundaries with hope and empowerment. This builds confidence to say no, not just for the fear of being caught in any behaviors or practices that do not resonate with your culture, tradition, or family values. By equipping your children with the knowledge and skills to make informed choices, you are setting them up for success. Fear-based discussions might keep them from making mistakes, but it is empowerment and confidence that will guide them through life's challenges. If you do not empower your children in these areas, the social media culture will do it for you, and it might not align with your values, hopes, or dreams for your children. That culture is loud, but your voice, grounded in love, truth, and understanding, must be louder and much more trusted. Share this with parents who need to have that conversation with their children. Comment, like, follow, and subscribe to the #Slow Parenting podcast for more insightful parenting videos, not just hacks, but heart.
Welcome back, and thank you for being here with us. Okay, thank you so much for uh, remaining with us on Slow Parenting. I have uh, been um, responding to some of the uh, comments or questions that have been sent to us by YouTube on YouTube. Okay, and there are more here. I think I already responded to this. If we look at the YouTube, the chat section of the YouTube channel, you will find the response I gave. That I will repeat it here for those for the sake of those of us who may not have read it or who um, are not going on chat at this time. It says, at what age is it appropriate to begin talking to children about sexuality? And I will start by correcting this. We don't recommend you talk to your children. We recommend you talk with your children. Communicating with your children about any issue area has to be two ways. It's not, it doesn't have to be dictatorial, it doesn't have to be handed. It's conversational. Make it conversational. That is what we mean by talk with them. Let it be two ways. You say something, give them opportunities to ask questions, respond to the questions. If you're not ready to go into any conversations or dialogue with them, don't start a conversation. Okay, if unless it's just everyday thing of oh yes and no, do that. No. But when it really comes to life issues, make sure that it's a time that you are ready for a two-way communication with your children, okay? So sexuality information or education, start early. Once you have built a communication relationship with your children, it becomes easier for you to put anything in that communication relationship. And I mean anything, by anything, any information, okay? Communication itself has no life of its own outside of what the people in the communication relationship put into that communication relationship. So from the time you are communicating, actually you're already communicating. Your child is suckling. Yes. So when you later you're hiding, you're covering up, are you covering up the same mammary gland that the child had suckled from? That's one time you begin to, it's not, again, it's differentiating between that thing that registers your mind when you hear sexuality, intercourse. It's not. It's about growth. It's about physiological, that's bodily system development in the body, and about relationship, about feelings. So you give this information in age appropriate ways. And especially when the children are the ones now coming to you with an action, with something that they don't understand about happening to them or they've heard or seen happening with their friends. You take your time, don't dodge, don't wave it away. If you don't have time, please communicate that clear enough. Well, we can't discuss this now. Remind mommy or remind daddy when social time would have. You can be sure that that child will probably, even if the child doesn't remember, you've made that promise, remember to go, okay, yeah, the question you asked at that time, can we talk about it now? Yes, sit down. You have that chat. We'll take a walk, depending on your family, your environment, and all of that. have that conversation. Start early. Most importantly, at whatever age your child ask questions about any sexuality related issues, do not say no, you're too young. To give an age appropriate response. Okay. Uh, um, how do we tell our children the truth about sexuality without stirring up unhealthy curiosity? What is unhealthy curiosity? I guess my suspicion over time, over for decades now, has always been that it's the parents that have those curiosity. Wow, how am I going to say this? Now, I will use a story to buttress that. Okay. When we were developing this program to more than 2 decades ago, and we're running workshops and seminars for parents on parent-child communication and reproductive health issues. One of our resource persons is a medical doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, so please don't get that twisted. I'm an academic, okay? So now, it was a medical doctor, so we always brought, because people always made that, even then, they always made that, Dr. Richie, sorry, I'm not a medical doctor. Yes, I'm a development communication, well, specialist. For you to communicate about anything, you need to know about that thing well, okay, before you can say you are communicating about it. So I made it my point to know about reproductive health issues and all of that. So and communicate some in such way that people think I have a medical background. I don't. Okay, so let's get that clear. Now, so to now step away from those confusions from some of our community members and those trainee, people that seminar attendees, trainees, we brought in professionals, okay, medical doctors, gynecologists, depending on what we are discussing in whichever training, whichever section of that training. Now, this doctor was like, look, well, people don't think that I was taking my son to school on a particular day, and then it was billboards or TV adverts. Not today, not the phone. Then the son saw it was in the era of the HIV and AIDS pandemic. Okay, the HIV pandemic. Okay, and there were billboards of condoms and all over the place. And the child asked the mother, saw there were billboards on the way to school and said, Mom, what is condom? The mom said, wait, when we get home, this is a medical doctor. When we get home, you ask your father. and and the seminar participants laughed, burst into laughter. Doctor, yes, anybody can feel awkward about discussing sexual. She wasn't, and she was one telling them the story. Said, look, where do I start? What do I say? That's the problem. So it's the parents that might have that anxiety, curious attack, not maniac, curious attack, curiosity attack. Hey, and she called me and said, well, what would you have? Because I have not answered him, and I'm sure he's not told his father. I said, okay, man, during the tea break, we had a discussion. Like, first, when you're going to work and your child says, Mom, Dad, I want an airplane. Which airplane do you think they are talking about? Say toy. Say no. That child is not talking about toy airplane. He's talking about the real McCoy, the real airplane he has seen in the sky. But when you return home and you hand that child a box of toy airplane, what happens? They say, you throw it away. I said, no. The child is happy. You embrace you, Mom, Dad, thank you. Oh, as far as that child is concerned, that toy is the real airplane in the sky. At that age, at that point, yes. Well, those days, I don't know about now. That children will tell you this is not what this is, this toy. Well, but those days is the real thing, it has it. Now, and he said, why is it? And she asked me, what does that have to do with condom, and what is the condom and the child, a 7-year-old child? What do I say? I'm like, you're lucky you even having that question. Say, what do I mean lucky? 7 years old. You need to respond You need to answer. Now, first, what were condoms made for originally? Birth control. Okay, you get back to him. Yes, he knows he's just a dad, okay? And you are his mom. Fine. So, craft the sentence in a way that removes that thing you think he wants. It's not asking you how, it's not asking you to describe how to use a condom. But then that's already what your mind is telling you. No, that's not what the child is. That's a straight question. What is a condom? Now, when we say age appropriate answer, simple. The condom is something that mommy and dad use when they want to have baby. You understand mommy, you understand daddy, you understand baby. Oh, okay, finish. He said, wow, really? Wow, my. Thank you. That was a medical doctor. But we're talking communication here. Okay? And after the tea break, he went back. Oh, sorry, she went back. The next session was still her. I said, well, by the way, did you know how I solved? Yeah, she hasn't solved the problem. Then I solved the problem of the what is economics? She repeated my story, but in the midst of it, said, no, let me do this right. And I called me and said, Dr. Adewusi, come, please, can you repeat what? So I now went into that same discussion I had with them. I said, wow, really? Yes. Your children is not asking, their children are not sorry, your children are not asking you to describe things that, just basic information. Where do babies come from? We have been lying to our children like forever. Babies come from heaven. Yeah. All right. Well, figuratively and in some other sense, yes, depending on what you believe, depending on your belief systems and all of that. But where do babies come from? Babies come from mommy and daddy. Simple. The child will say, oh, okay. And children are very, some children are very imaginative. Okay, maybe mommy and daddy are in the room, the door is, okay, mommy and daddy, are you making baby? Yeah, those talks, you can build on those talks. They might be embarrassing, but you don't talk like that. What are you saying? No, it's beginning to have an understanding of something, but you are not supposed to take charge of cockpits, of the information direction of flying to now say, okay, yeah, so when you see this door close or what, don't come and knock here. Well, there's so many other things that can now develop for that. Mommy, okay, baby, yes, you're going to have a sister. You're going to have you said you want a sister, you're going to have a sister. Those things grow. They remember when they now grow into those stages of wet dreams and menstruation and all of that, it then becomes easier for you to make those linkages and explain stuff to them. By extension, they also become their instructors of their friends because they have information. You have equipped them. The same way you then explain infection and infection control, which is why we started this project in the first place. We started this project in the heat of the HIV pandemic. And young people were, preteen, teenagers, young adults were the most at risk because of their age, because a lot of things that they do are not planned and things will happen anyway. So we had to, who are the people, who are the group, which group is the group that's in the best place to educate this group of people? People will go to school, they'll go home. Teachers is school time. Teachers has curriculum, has syllabus it needs to follow. They're not there to give sexuality education. So we decided to create a project that would educate parents to be the ones that will give sexuality education. That's why I wrote these books to start with. And we had a project around the books. We use the book as resource materials for. And that's what we are doing with this, podcast, part of this podcast, because this is season 6. We talked about, so, but it's still parenting. But in this case, we are encouraging you not to shy away from discussions around sexual and reproductive health issues with your children. I encourage you to go back to the video, download it, and please, please, please support us on this program. Okay, if you go to look at our numbers, they're very low in terms of our subscribers, even you know, likes and all of that. Follow us, please subscribe, please share, and invite your friends to be part of this. There are going to be some exciting changes, coming the new season. Okay, and the next season, we are going to look at something that people have become exasperated about. Some feel that's what to die to. It's a pandemic on its own. Now we're going to be talking about substance use and abuse, and what parents should know, what parents could do, okay, to prevent, to manage. Okay, so we're going to spend season 7 talking about substance use and abuse. And when we talk about substances, we talk about what you call drugs, what some of you call, but they are substances. There are different types. And then we'll look at them in details, uh, from season 7. I have another book that we're also going to be, that is part of this series on parent-child communication, that is on substance use and abuse. So it's called the Shaw Foundation. So the whole of season, well, part of season 7 is going to be featuring the issues we raise in that book to prepare parents, especially now. If it was an issue, if substance use and abuse were issues 20, 25 years ago, it's a pandemic right now all over the place. So we want to equip you with the information, what you should know, what you could do, how you could manage. Some parents are already in the mix of it, how you could handle issues. And then those you are saying, oh, wow, let it not happen, what you can do to prevent your child, getting to become a substance user, not to talk of becoming an addict. Okay, so thank you so very much for being with us on this podcast today. We apologize for starting late, but please, we have already said, appeal to you to say, please subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have already, thank you for inviting your friends to subscribe. Thank you for sharing our videos, inviting people to even the stream. You can share the videos of the whole stream. It's free. You can go to our YouTube channel, Slow Parenting Podcast. You could download the entire video, and then you could send to your friends, that associates, family members, anyone that you feel the information or the particular stream would benefit, you send to them. Okay, you can also engage with us social media, other social media handles. Send us your questions. Our email address is in the YouTube channel. You find it there. Send us your messages. We'll respond. Thank you so very much for being there. Yes, we don't. I should just say bye-bye and no, but I appreciate those people, even if it's one person, that stay to follow us on the stream, that go to watch the videos on the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's because of you that we'll keep doing this. It's not a crowd thing. Well, we're focused on changing lives one at a time, supporting lives one at a time. So thank you so much. Till we meet again next week, which will be a brand new season. It's still on Nostalgia Media. We'll still be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Bye-bye.